Hi guys, this is Graham from Happy Drum. Today we're going to be talking about how to play your handpan or tongue drum with your fingers as a beginner. A lot of people find that when they first start with the tongue drums, they're going to be using a mallet, and that gives you this type of sound. And then as you start graduating from the mallets and wanting to play with your hand, a lot of people have problems getting a clean sound initially from the drums. And what it'll sound like is something like that. And they can't quite figure out how to get a clean sound off of it. So what we want to do is basically we're simulating what the mallet's doing. So the mallet has a silicone or a rubber head, and that allows it to bounce off of the steel. So it's just a light drop, and you're letting the mallet almost bounce off the steel with its own weight coming back up. And we want to imitate that with the finger. So the first thing we have to do is approach the drum with your finger almost parallel with the surface. So you don't want to have too steep of an angle on it. And the motion's going to come from the wrist, not so much from the elbow. A lot of people kind of approach it like they're playing a hand drum, where they're going to be moving with their elbows a lot. And this is not that at all. It's actually all on the wrist. And what you want to do is just let one finger come down to strike the note and bounce off of it. So it's not two or three fingers at a time. It's just going to be one finger. Some people find it's easier to start with the middle finger, but as you get more articulate with it, the index finger actually gives you more control. So if you can, just start with your index finger, and what we're going to do is we're going to pull the wrist back and then kind of slap the finger down, and you're letting the pad of your finger, not the tip, but the pad, bounce off of the steel. And when you do that, you can get a really nice clean sound out of it. So again, we're going to let the pad of the finger bounce off of the steel just like the mallet would. And the trick is just to keep the wrist really loose and just let your skin bounce off of it, almost like you're touching a hot stove and you're pulling back away from it a little bit. If you let your finger stay contacted with the steel, then you don't get a ring out of it. So the trick is to really loosen up and let it bounce. And remember, it's not the tip, then you get that kind of sound. It's the pad. Now with the handpan, I have a mallet here. You don't usually play handpans with a mallet because the steel is thinner, and if you play it for a long time with mallets, you could potentially bend the steel a little bit, which would change the tuning. So a lot of people, when they first get a handpan, have a hard time learning initially how to play it because they can't use a mallet, which makes it easier, and you have to learn with your fingers first. But I tune these, and I use these mallets during my tuning process, so I know how to strike them gently. So I'm just going to show you what this sounds like with a mallet. And then here we are with the fingers. So again, we want to approach the handpan where our hand is just hovering above it, kind of parallel with the surface. I'm going to pull my wrist back and just fire that index finger down. And in the note area, you want to strike it just kind of anywhere around the outside of that inside dimple area. If you notice, the note is kind of oval shaped. You get octaves on the long area and the fifths on the sides. So if you strike the fifth area, you'll get more of that harmonic. Whereas if you strike the octave area, you'll get more of the octave harmonic. And if you strike it towards the middle, you'll activate both. And you can see it's really effortless. You're not putting a lot of force into driving the finger down. It's just loose and relaxed. And off you go. And then you'll find that the notes that are closest to you on this side are a little harder to hit because you have to articulate your elbows out of the way. And so what a lot of people will do is they'll actually use the side of their thumb. So instead of doing a forward whipping motion, bringing the pad of the finger down, what we're going to do is do a side motion and let the side of the thumb make contact and bounce off. So that was switching from thumbs up to fingers. And so the thumbs are a little more of an advanced technique, but with some practice you'll be able to get it. And hopefully this will get you going and getting a clean sound with your fingers.